Hello, everyone's. I am here for 911 on Fox, Season 3, Episode 3. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, you a family member, you one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all, this third episode had me just as stressed as the last episode. And I hope I'm not just a head just floating. I'm in a different chair with different cushioning, so my height's a little off. And my tripod's doing a lot of mess. So yeah, I hope I'm not just a floating head. But yeah, this episode, I was stressed in like almost all the scenes that we saw. I'm like, I can't do this. My husband's looking at me crazy because I'm like, oh no, I'm doing all this, and he not paying attention to what's going on, but he hear me oh no and he like, what's wrong with you? It's just a TV show. I know it's just a TV show, but I be getting invested and I be getting stressed out over here. So Buck is yelling for Christopher. He can't find him. He's not asking anybody near, have you seen this little boy? You know, he's about yay high. You know, his name is Christopher. You know, can you help me out? Nobody sees him. But he finds Christopher's glasses was in tangled up into some debris, and I'm like, oh no, he can't. If wherever he don't have his glasses on, he can't see. Now I can see without my glasses. It's just the things are blurry. I would prefer having my glasses on. So I'm just thinking about Christopher, he can't see where Buck at or where he's at. I know he's scared, and then on top of that, he done got thrown into water. Y'all, I was totally and utterly stressed. But before the 20 minutes before the first wave hit, we see this couple. They're reminiscing about their first when he proposed to her. But now it is we're getting divorced, and it's full circle. So we gonna go on this Ferris wheel ride, before we decide to sign these divorce papers. She is all for signing the divorce papers. He's more of just remembering the good old days. And he paid one of the technicians to stop the ride at the very top of the Ferris wheel so they can, reconnect. But she not really trying to feel this. And this is when the tsunami hit. Like I said last episode, it was an earthquake in Hawaii or Alaska that caused the tsunami to hit California, where they at. I'm wanting to say Los Angeles. No, it's Santa Monica. I don't know if that's the suburbs of Los Angeles, but they in California. They in Santa Monica. Well, he sees the wave coming, and he sees the wave take out the pier, and knowing that they're next, and there's nothing they can do. They're at the top of the Ferris wheel, and even if they get down, the wave is coming too fast, and the wave hits the Ferris wheel, and he hits his head, and now he can't feel anything. He can't feel her holding his hand. He's scared, she's scared, they don't know what to do. Things are getting shaky, so they had to have a helicopter come in and transport him out. Now, at this point, it seems like they shifted in how they feel. He's like, okay, let's go ahead and sign these divorce papers. But she's almost I don't know if I want to do that. So they go ahead and transport him out. Now, they have Eddie and the crew are firefighters / acrobatics at this time, but they have to climb on the Ferris wheel. Yes, they have harnesses, but still you gotta be light on your feet. You have to watch where you're going. They part-time acrobatics over here. I'm child, I can't. So Eddie and one of the fellow firefighters, I think Bonnie Blue said that was Rhonda Rowley. Rhonda Rowley, is that her name? But anyway, she is a firefighter there. She had been looking for her captain and all that stuff, but she can't find him. But she's like, I have a, job to do. Well, debris from wherever is hitting the Ferris wheel, so they have to jump off into the water. I'm child, I cannot. What if I don't know how to swim? Then what am I going to do? So they jump off in the nick of time and get into the little boat that Bobby has, just standing by. But I'm Eddie calls Buck to let him know that Christopher is like let Christopher know I'm fine. Okay, all right, but he don't know that they was at the pier. And I kept on thinking, are they going to cross paths at the pier? Like, when is this going to happen? Because I was getting stressed out. Now, Buck thinks he didn't found a lead because somebody told him that, I saw a little boy, matching that description over there by the little ice cream, cotton candy, whatever kind of stand it was. So Buck is running over there. Now, mind you, Buck that ran with Christopher on his back. Buck has jumped in the water several times to help people. Buck at this time is running on fumes, and then he had that pulmonary embolism last episode. So I'm like, this may be too much for Buck. Now, some lady out of town calls, and Maddie answers the phone because she can't get a hold of her daughter. Now, her daughter was in one of the places that wasn't hit by the tsunami, but she's like, she can't really send out help to a place where nobody's calling for help. But Maddie, she always gets these these feelings and these something's not right. And several people at that same place, nobody there was nobody responding there. So they was like, yeah, this don't sound right. Like, everybody in this building, nobody's responding there, and they having several drop calls. But the young lady from last episode that had a drone, and she had a friend who worked at the pier doing pictures, she calls in because on her drone she sees some dude like in a tree, and he just laying there. Now, if this was any other day and it hadn't been a tree, you would thought he was just laying there. So she's like, I have this drone and I can see him. And Maddie was like, okay, take your drone over to this location. So the girl told her that you can see the live feed online, and they'll get there, and several people were passed out. So I was like, Maddie, her thinking was right, spot on, that something wasn't right over there. Now, Athena, she is patrolling to make sure nobody is looting. Now, I've said this before. After Hurricane Harvey, or during the day after, people were looting up and down the street for a good maybe mile or two, hitting several Family Dollars, hitting Walgreens, hitting the pawn shop, hitting the grocery stores. There is a storm going on. It is flooding, but y'all thinking about grabbing TVs and stuff like that? Really? So now we got to make sure people aren't out here in the midst looting. Now, she's telling these people, you can't find your loved ones, go to these emergency shelters. Now, this lady is holding a child in her hand. I was like, what if that child is Christopher? But then I was like, Christopher, he would have recognized Athena's voice. But then I was like, maybe it's not Christopher. But I was in hope it was. I was like, can't nothing happen to Christopher. That just cannot happen. I told y'all this episode 1 when we first seen the tsunami. Christopher must be alive. I didn't want his glasses to mess up, and now his glasses is off his face. And now the people at the apartment, they had carbon monoxide poisoning. And on top of that, they're sitting on a bomb because the truck down the street is leaking gas into the water. And then there's a power line down. So if that power line falls on that gas that is in the water, everything's going to go up into flames. I was like, So Chimney, he borrows his mail trucks. Mail people ain't out there. The fire trucks, they're all over the city, can't get here. So these mail trucks are the perfect place, pick these peoples up, pick the people up. I'm like, go ahead, Chimney. Good thinking. Now, as a thing that she is out patrolling, she sees some dudes that look like they looting. Well, come to find out, they're just breaking into houses to collect animals because they go around, their organization is going around getting dogs and reuniting dogs, cats, and, pets to reunite them with their families during, natural disaster type of situation. But she's like, it's still breaking into somebody's house, whether the door was unlocked or the window was unlocked. You still breaking in. So the animals you got right now, just go ahead and get those and go on back to business. As she's patrolling, she hears somebody. It's a fellow first responder, and his arm is like trapped up under a car. So now she has to break into somebody's house, get alcohol, get a knife, and kind of like cut him out. But like he's already done the hard work. He didn't tourniquet off his arm. He didn't got through bone. You just need to cut the rest of my arm off and we can get it going. I was like, child, I was like, would I be able to do that? I don't know. So Chimney finally gets everybody in the car and they narrowly escape an explosion. And as they're leaving, he almost sees like a group of people that are just walking down the street. I'm like, these people are like coming together trying to get to safety. They hear cars like, so let's go to that direction. And almost get hit in the process. I'm like, child, I can't. Where am I at? So Buck, he done made it to some trauma center. And Eddie is there. Eddie was there to help Ronda Rousey get there because she done hurt her arm, and in the process saved some little boy who was dry drowning. I guess water got into his lungs and he went on about his business and now he's choking again. I didn't know that was a thing until a few years ago. But, you know, he was, you know, there working, and Buck was like, me and Christopher were at the pier and I lost Christopher. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to find him. He looks over and sees Eddie and is like, how do I tell my best friend that I've lost his son? He just lost his wife a few months ago. Like, how do I look this man in his eyes and tell him, I can't find Christopher. We were at the pier and Christopher's gone. So he finally goes up to Eddie and Eddie's like, why do you have Christopher's glasses on? And like, Buck was like, I tried to save him, I couldn't. And as he's talking, Eddie looks over and sees that lady earlier holding Christopher. I'm like, thank you. Christopher is all right. Because I waited to watch this episode and I kind of skimmed through to make sure Christopher was all right. But I was like, no, I got to actually do my whole review on this. But Christopher fine, y'all. I was like, child, I cannot do this. This show is not going to stress me out. It is just not going to do that. Christopher is fine. And all she was doing was the whole time asking for Buck. So the last scene we had, Eddie dropping Christopher off over Buck's house. And Buck was like, you want me to watch him again? I almost lost him the last time. He was almost down. He was like, in Christopher's mind, you saved him. So, yes, you going to watch Christopher. It's going to be good for you and it's going to be good for him. I was like, thank you. I couldn't do it if something happened to Christopher, y'all. I could not. And at one point, Buck had almost passed out because he's running on fumes. He's, you know, ain't really supposed to be out there doing that stuff because, you know, he had this pulmonary embolism, but he was all about, I need to find Christopher and make sure Christopher is safe. So, y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on so in my beautiful face. Puts a video. You can click on it. You can like it. You can share it with your people. If you're returning, you're a family member, one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples. Now, this is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.